Hey, hi there. I think I'm on. Hi there again. Hi, I'm Linda Kay Gifford. Welcome. And today we are going to talk about orgasms and the importance of yours and the importance of understanding that there are two kinds of relationships. I mean, there's a lot of kind of relationships, but on average, there's really just two kinds of relationships. One is an agreement. It's an agreement kind of relationship that people make, whether they're married or not married, conservative or liberal, although it definitely gets into shaky, weird ground in more traditional societies where women are just so stripped of any kind of rights that we feel shocked by that. But what we are not looking at in our own lives, in our own society, is that our Christian, Western European, even, well, I won't say Eastern European, Northern European and Western European cultures still stigmatize, essentially, not stigmatize, what's the word I'm looking for? They make agreements. Relationships are based on agreements. They're based on getting something out of it. Are you going to take care of somebody? Are you going to get something out of it? Are they the right race? Are they from the right family? Do they have the right religion? Is it following your religious text, the way they're getting married? I mean, this is the crap that needs to end. It needs to end. And the deal is, it's not just happening in other countries. In America, 70 to 80% of women do not experience orgasms with a partner. Some of those women have learned to use a tool. And even then, that's only adding in about another 10%. That means most women are living their lives thinking that that's just not part of it. And they're not pining away. That's the sick part. They're not pining away for it. They don't know what they're missing, or they think they don't like it. And the way that we are set up with the paradoxes in our society, it's no wonder that some women think that they are not interested in sex. I don't think I introduced myself. I said my name, but I'm Linda Kay Gifford again, and I am the survivor of 7 years of childhood sexual assault, I'm going to call it. Some of that was abuse, and then it turned into years of assault. And it has shaped and molded me, and I have, after decades of denial, now turned it into a business. We just hit our 4th year online, feelgoodfairtrade.com, where I buy from women artisans all over the world and sell their products. These are not shipped from China. These are people I can give you their contact information if you want to talk to them yourself. I'm kind of bruised up here. I bruise easily, and I just had a bunch of medical tests yesterday. So I do want to say I'm sorry to those who expect me Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That yesterday, I ran an old video, not old, I mean, a couple of months ago, premiere, that was from Facebook before I started YouTubing. And I did start YouTubing specifically because I want to raise money for the Sweet Survivor Rescue Fund that I founded. And we are rescuing victims of human trafficking and abuse. So if you would like to donate, there is a subscription opportunity now at my store, feelgoodfairtrade.com. Sweetsurvivor.com goes there too now. Same place, right up top. Right up top is the subscription. But it's also Fairtrade Gifts and Goods. Again, you can actually meet on every page. I have the story of the artisans who are making the products. It's very few products. Like 1,500, but very few in each little limited collection of what this group, this person does, what they put out. So if you like it, you should grab it. It's not going to be there the next time you come back, probably. And there are gift cards. Boom. Get that out of the way. It is important, though, but I guess more important is that we have, I've started, working with people one-on-one over the last 2 years, and it's grown to where I added an appointment calendar. So you can actually sign up and we can start working together one-on-one. The maximum that the system will, the Facebook will allow is 40 minutes. So certainly we can talk for 40 minutes. If you set up the appointment calendar, and I believe I set it for Tuesdays through Thursdays from 10 to 2. So news out of the way. Today, I want to, do what I always do on the last day of the week, because Sunday is my deep dive Sunday school, and we kind of tie together everything we've been talking about and everything we're going to talk about. And then this week we've been talking about everything, orgasms especially, and why women need and children need to be taught that pleasure is the basis. Feeling stimulated physically. And if you, again, I'm going to precurse this, if someone is disabled, if you are elderly, if you are not a sexually active person, then translate what I'm saying about the physical part into an attraction that's still vibrational, if you know what I mean. Physical, like Reiki massage. Is it physical or not? You may not be being touched, but the energy around you is being manipulated. Many people feel great relief from that. A friend of mine is a Reiki massage therapist. I've literally never done it myself. I keep meaning to, but I haven't. But she has a thriving practice of people who feel the physical manipulation of their body, though she doesn't generally touch them much. So there are other connections. I use the physical because if you are sexually active and capable of that, but choose not to, but don't feel sexual, say that, oh, you want to be in this relationship, but you aren't physically drawn to this person. You don't want to sit by them or talk with them or hang out with them or touch them. Substitute that if sex is off the table. Straight up intercourse sex. Because as we all know, and as I've said, and I'm going to curse here, but so cover the kids' ears, you have to fuck my mind before you're going to fuck my body. And I'm not promiscuous. If I have given you my body, then I am already hopeful that there is something here between us that I want to explore. And the reason why I would explore it before I would ever marry a person, and that I encourage you to get that crap out of your society, your religion, whatever, anything that says somebody should marry somebody without having sex with them. I'm recapping what we've talked about this whole week. Yes, but it's bears repeating. You should not condemn anyone. And it's more women than men, because men generally, even if their religion precludes it, it's still accepted that, oh, they're going to do it. That's part of the reason they want to get them all married off quick, is because then they'll stop fucking around. With girls, if you fuck around, you just ruined yourself. You are ruined now. And this is the other big thing that we've been talking about all week. And I'm going to continue one more time to bring up. Virgin Galactic. Needing to rename yourself. Okay. I love it. I want to go. Richard Branson, thank you for all of this, but you're thinking erroneously. You're using virgin as a, the wondrous new territory. It's so beautiful and wonderful. Virginity is treated like it's that precious. And that's where the stem of it comes from. It's a biblical stem. And so whatever we have morphed it into in society, it still to us feels, to me, who never had a chance to give my virginity to somebody and give. I don't even like that. See, that's the kind of so ingrained in me. Even I use these words like I'm giving you something. That's a gift. That means that my virginity is a gift. We've got to stop thinking like this. I have a body part called a vagina. And penises can go in and out of it. And if I really like somebody that much that I want them to, then there's already a mind and a physical connection to me. But unfortunately, a lot of people in this world do not have that luxury. They are told who they're going to marry, or worse, I mean, that's bad enough. So it might seem weird that you think that I think this is worse, but worse is to be in a free society where you could choose, but you choose not to choose because you're going to stick with religious dogma and such. Don't, don't. And that brings me to expectations. The other one of the second of the three things I really want to talk to you about today before the lesson. These are all setting up the lesson. Okay, and today's lesson is we're going to do a guide. I'm going to take you, not a guided meditation, because I am way too hyper to lead anybody on a guided meditation, obviously. If I was going to guide someone on a meditation, it would involve a pub crawl, So not that I'm a drunk. I keep a steady drip in the evening for a couple of hours. And you should not do that if you're an alcoholic, and you should not do that if you don't like it. And I'm not promoting anything. I'm just being real. I am not a doctor. I just play one. No, I'm not even playing a doctor. I've been there. I've done that. I've been groomed. I've been mistressized. I've been raped and sodomized. I've been lived a life of shame and guilt and didn't even think about what any of it meant, just wallowed in it. So coming to the point of understanding, to realizing there was a problem, to studying, to getting it, and to turning around and help other people who were ready to take their own lives. Sorry. It is my great privilege to be here. And I'm reiterating that also because there are some people who I knew in my distant past, like in my hometown, who are probably friends with the ex-brother-in-law who assaulted me for all those years, and the others with him that did. They don't want to believe it. So obviously I'm crazy. It's kind of the conservative stance where if you don't like it, then it's crazy and you don't need, whatever facts, whatever proof. They would rather believe that I am that dark and evil that I would put someone's reputation and possibly safety on the line by telling what they did to me. And I was going to sue him, and I was asked, I've been repeatedly messaged about this. And people message me. I know we don't like do the comments yet. I'd like to get some live chat stuff going here, but I'm pretty new to this. We're just kind of hitting our 4-week mark now on YouTube. Okay, I'm beginning to drift off of track, and so I'm just going to reel myself back in, pull it all together here. Expectations will fail you. Do not have them. This is a lesson too. Expectations, throw that out the window. Expect common courtesy and decency. And if the ground rules of common courtesy and decency are broken even once, it's over. Get out. Because people that you want to establish any kind of a future connection with, if you can't even agree on the base levels of what is decent, kind behavior, like for me, I don't ask anything of my partner except don't come home if you don't want to. I want them to come home. But by not having that expectation every night my partner comes home, I know they want to be there. I will never lay the expectation that you have to do this on a partner. This is the difference between these two kinds of relationships. There are agreements, and most of what we make are agreements. Even in our hip, cool Western culture, it's like, oh, I need the marriage certificate and I need the agreement. Now, if you're not fulfilled in this marriage that you just made, and you came into it, let's just say, in the idyllic Christian version, a virgin, and you come into this marriage, and now you're not happy, you're not fulfilled, if you're even enlightened enough to know that you should be able to have orgasms with the person you're with, if you're not, what's happening is you're not bonded. You're not bonded. So every time that you're having sex with this person, you're really making a trade. You are a prostitute. You're a prostitute bride is what you are. And almost everybody I know is a prostitute bride in a marriage that they would rather not be in. And there are a few lucky people I know who are absolutely blissfully married or not married, but together. That's why I do not put any stock in a piece of paper. But what I do put stock in is my intuition. And you should put stock in your intuition because you have it. You know if it's not there. Why are you going to give up a lifetime of physical connection with somebody that is out there to stay with somebody and be a martyr to the marriage? Well, I put the family first. Well, I'm godly. Well, I'm whatever. It's like, I put my family first too. And the only way I can do that is to teach my children that their satisfaction and happiness is important. And this is the big divide, I guess, for those of you who continue to hammer. I know it gets bigger all the time. The more views we get, the more hammer down it gets. I'm obsessed with orgasms. I'm sick and I'm wrong. And it's like, no, I'm both. I'm obsessed with my family and I'm obsessed with my physical pleasure and I'm obsessed with my partner's physical pleasure. I'm obsessed, not with any partner's physical pleasure, not with every partner's physical pleasure. In the past, it was something I just I knew I wanted to have sex because I'm human. But then when I did, I just wanted to get it over with because I'm a sexual abuse survivor of years of childhood sexual abuse who had learned to, and I'm not sure where you are in this journey, but we will go back to the top and review what we've already been worked through a few weeks ago, which is we started at shame and having to let go of the shame and the guilt. So if you're still at that stage, trust, I'm going to get right back around to it. It's going to be coming back in this week again. As we work through the trigger guides, spades, I will always continue to cycle for people who are just joining us, who are new to the trigger management. So in brief, I have made an acronym out of the steps that just emerged in 2 years of casually live streaming before I started this a few weeks ago. S, the shame is not yours. Put the guilt where it belongs. No matter what anybody told you, no matter what your gut feels, and it does feel it. It does. That's why we have CPTSD. Our guts feel it. Our guts can throw it into our minds. Our minds have to cope with it. The cope being hits the heart. At that point, you can fall apart or you can pull it together. And we have chosen to pull it together, and that's why we're here doing this together. So let me take another moment to welcome you to my world and my group. Please join the Facebook group. You know what? I'm going to make it private. I'm about to make the Facebook group private. I was just giving this a lot of thought over the last couple of days. And I think we'll make the Facebook group private because so many people, I didn't even know you could do that. I'm so new to all this. But so many people that messaged me, I think, would be more comfortable joining the group if they didn't think anybody knew they joined the group, because many of us still hide this. And I've been watching all day long. Actually, I watched webinars while I was working on my store functions and things, and my charity. I was watching about male childhood sexual abuse survivors and even adult male rape victims. And there's just so many more than I even knew. And I've been trying to be careful to include, to not be gender specific lately, as I realize how many, I analyze, who's watching these. And I've got, 50% roughly male engagement. And now, at first I was like, are they all pervs? Or do they just want to hear my story? But I don't really talk about sex very much, not like graphically what happened to me. So it turns out that many, many, many men are struggling too. And so I welcome you. And I will include you 100% from now on. I've tried to in the past, but now I've become very conscious of it. And that's another thing. So I was messaged from a friend, loosely defined, from long ago, saying it's someone who's being passive aggressive, right? They're like slamming me, but they're doing it like, oh, bless your heart way. So it's like, so why do I bother with any of this? I'm so angry. You know, I posted the one about, I got pretty heated in my last 2 live streams. I talked about the worthlessness of virginity and why it offends me, and why you guys need to realize that glorifying something that is unattainable for many people is degrading, and why even trying to set it as an aspiration for anybody else is life limiting, because you're locking someone into either a divorce or a lifetime of not being as happy as they could be, because we're denying the physical. And then to recap what I said earlier, to have a society where women wish that they had that would even be a step up. Right now, we have a society where most women don't even think that sex is, that orgasms in their own sex life are important. It's been bred out. They don't teach it. It's not taught. So that's the thing I also included in the title: teach pleasure. Teach pleasure. I mean, no, we're not going to teach our kids how to jack off. They're going to figure that out on their own because they're human. What we need to teach them is that it's okay. It's good to know what makes you feel good, because you should never end up in a relationship where you're trying to make somebody else happy. If you feel happiness, then you'll be able to share that joy. But if you're just trying to make somebody else happy, then you will have no joy yourself. You'll just be somebody's tool. You'll be a commodity. You will be in that kind of relationship that is an agreement. I just couldn't do it. And this is mostly trigger management. So if you don't like this part, throw it out and follow your religion if that's what you want to do. But this is like where some people have to put their Jesus push in at the end of whatever they're doing. I have to put my you come first push in at the end of whatever I'm doing, because it's very, very important to realize that really being selfishly honest and good to yourself and seeking your own pleasure in a sexual relationship and an emotional relationship is the only way that your partner can also achieve those things. Because if you aren't feeling them, then what they are getting from you is fake. They're getting, I think it's butter or whatever it's called. I can't believe it's not butter. It's not butter. They want butter. I want real butter. I do not want, I can't believe it's not butter in my relationship. Can't believe I just made a margin reference. Okay. So, do check out the playlists I put up. You don't have to like my music, but I really have been listening to a lot of people, but Lisa Romano touches me. She deals with codependency and narcissistic relationships. She's a best-selling author, has a program for people. And there's a whole lot of crossover in dealing with narcissists and those of us who have been conditioned into abuse. Or being, you know what? I keep doing that. Assault. We have to change the language. How can being sexually violated for years be called abuse? That's assault. I am probably you, if you're watching this, or somebody you know or love or work with, was assaulted and assaulted and assaulted. Stop saying abuse. All of you, change it. Everywhere that it says child sexual abuse, change it. It's assault. It's assault. Even if it's verbal, that's verbal assault. We don't call it abuse if you punch someone in the face. We don't say you've abused their face. So why, when we rape women and girls, do we say that they've been sexually abused? Words matter. Give it the strength it deserves. I even changed the name of my book. My book is now Self-Talk, My Continuing Efforts to Survive Childhood Sexual Assault. So we are going to get into, next week, we're going to work on in the spades, trigger management. We're going to move on to the A and the D. We've done the shame is not yours, the guilt is not yours, although we'll always touch on it. We've done, and we're going to keep going there extensively. We've done disassociation and body memory, and how they are flip sides of the same thing, and how learning to recognize that rabbit hole of despair that you're going to drug your way, drink your way, sex your way, do something negative to yourself your way out of by just losing your mind, how you can stay out of that and let it wash over you and just move on. How you don't have to go down that. That's something we worked with. That's the P. Now we're going to really dig deep into A. We did this week a lot. So we're going to touch on it and continue with ask for what you want, like we talked about today intensely, because in having what you want and being selfish, you are then able to give selflessly, because you will enact the law of attraction and you will only be drawn to a person who is also only drawn to you because you are in sync, because you have so many similarities. You're not trying to be what the other one wants them to be. You're being honest with each other and seeing each other for who you are. And that is out there and that is possible. And it's not something elusive that is hard to find. I just figured this out. It's you blocking it. We block ourselves. We put up the blocks to finding these relationships, be they friends or lovers, because even work, other kind of relationships. You've heard about manifestation and self-awareness, and I've talked about it in the past, and we're going to talk more about that this week, big time, because asking for what you want is part of manifesting your reality and your future. And it's not hippy dippy. It's not. It's really more, it's way closer to quantum physics than it is to anything esoteric. Although I believe the esoteric generally is operating in the quantum world. So you decide. So to recap, you decide also, do you want to be in a relationship that's in agreement? Or do you want to be in a relationship that you have to be in? You have to. The smell of that person, the sound of their voice, the resonance in your body, the way their fingers pulse against yours when you just sit quietly. Something is there that compels you, be it a sexless or a sexful. If you're sexually active and you don't want to have sex, there's something weird going on there. That's not a thing. But this applies, as I said earlier, to the elderly and the disabled and the war vets and the people. You can have intense, and I have had intense physical. You can have, I haven't. Okay. I do now, but we're not vets. I'm saying there are intense relationships possible, whoever you are, with somebody that is more like you. But you're not going to get there if you keep trying to figure out why somebody else, why they don't want you. If you're stuck in, why don't they want me land? What am I doing wrong land? How come this person doesn't come home to me land? How come they don't want to have sex with me land? How come they're not attracted to me land? Then change your land. Say, how about this is goodbye land. Now we can be friends, or we can morph our relationship into something else, or we can co-parent or whatever. But when you find this kind of thing, you can't lose it. Only in death can you part. And it's not because of a marriage certificate. So have standards, high ones, not expectations. Keep your standards high, and you will attract, and you will find, you will only see. It's not that you find it. The reason you don't find what you want is because you see too much. You're seeing too much, or you're not looking at all. We're going to refine our focus. Make an appointment with me, and let's work one-on-one with what's going on with you in your life. That's my customer service line, which I thought I had off. Good night. We'll talk on Sunday.